Hey guys, my name is Whitney. If you're not familiar with my Facebook page or group, I have the Facebook page Hello Gorgeous by Whitney, where I do makeup with Maskcara Beauty, kind of teach you different tips and tricks. So today we're just gonna do an eyeshadow look. I'm actually headed to a wedding this evening, and so this is the dress that I'm wearing with these colors. So I figured I would do an eyeshadow look kind of based off of these colors. So let's get started. All right, I am going to first start by prepping my skin. I have our Maskcara Beauty Stay Spray. I use the one without SPF because my skin is oily. I also have one of our Perfector sponges that is damp. I have wet it and then wrung it out, so it is damp. I'm gonna take about 2 sprays and spray my sponge, and then just take and press the Stay Spray as like a primer into my face. So that way this will give my makeup something to stick and adhere to. Okay, let that dry for just a couple of seconds. And I am actually going to do my application with the Detail Hack brush and the bronzer and blush brush. I really like to use these two. I love the Buffy brush because it gives a little fuller coverage, but I really do like to use these two to give a soft look with it. And since it's a little bit more of a casual wedding, I don't want to go too glam or crazy with it. So we are just going to use these and get started that way. All right. Let me move a couple of my brushes around. And I am actually going to dig into my artist palette for my contour. I use the contour color of Astoria. So we are going to go ahead and get started. It comes in a little tin just like this here that actually click into your compact. And while we're talking, I'll go ahead and change mine out. This is one I had been using. I've had it for several months now. I need to melt it down. You can take and actually melt them down, and that way you can get more use out of your colors. But for now, I'm just going to replace it. See how easy that was? I just took my old one out and put the new one in. Super easy. Okay, so we're going to start with my contour of Astoria first. I'm going to take the Detail Hack brush, the small end, and I am going to go right underneath my cheekbone. I'm going to go right underneath there and hug my cheekbone. You want to go as close as you can without getting up on the cheekbone itself, because this is going to help to lift and define the cheeks. It will help to sculpt the face. You see my cheekbone is right here? I'm literally going right there under it. All right. I'm also going to take and go right underneath the jawline. Underneath the chin. This is going to help to slim up the face and help to frame. See how we've created a shadow there? All right. I'm also going to go ahead and take and go down the nose. We're going to use the outside of the nose here on the top and kind of sculpt it to slim it down. Do the same thing on the other side. So the Maskcara Beauty is a cream makeup. It is based off of the Simple Hack, which is the highlight and contour. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and flip my brush to the larger end. I'm gonna do my forehead now. I have a little larger surface to work with, so I like to take the larger end of the brush and just put my contour up through here. This is probably one of my favorite brushes too. because you can get such precise application with it. As far as using the smaller end or the larger end, and you can put it exactly where you need to. And I know it's gonna look a little crazy. I'm gonna kind of bring that down a little bit. I want to bring it down to almost meet my other contour. Okay, so the next step I'm gonna do, I have a little rag here that I'm just gonna take and wipe off a little bit of my contour color. And now I'm gonna take and add my main shade. I am actually mixing two main colors of amber and candlelit. Let me bring that on up. Sorry guys. So I'm mixing two colors, amber and candlelit, because I'm kind of in between. So when I'm mixing them, I'm just going to take and dip my brush into both of the colors. I'm going to use the larger end of this brush just to get a little more surface area. I'm just going to kind of dip it into both. So I'm going to use the larger end of this brush, and I'm just kind of dipping it into both of my colors. If you've watched some of my videos, you've probably seen me use the smaller end too. I'm just doing the larger end to kind of put it on a larger area right now. And then I'll use the smaller end of the brush again to put my brightening highlight on. So this is just my main colors of amber and candlelit. I'm just mixing them together and then just applying them. The only place I'm not putting these colors is right underneath the eye. Okay. I'm gonna bring it down here my nose. And put some on top of my eyelid, just to kind of give a little color there. Now I'm going to flip to the small end of the brush, and I'm dipping into my brightening highlight, which is linen. And I am going to bring it underneath the eye in like an upside down pie shape. This color is going to help to highlight under the eye, help to brighten. It'll also help to cover up any darkness. All right, I'm also going to take some of the brightening.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. And come down the center of the nose. And through the center of the face. Now, I like to go back and do a little bit of my contour. Underneath my lips, and just right there on the top outside curve. See how that creates a shadow and just kind of plumps it up? Okay, so now we're gonna take the bronzer and blush brush, and I'm gonna start down here and just buff it out and blend. I start around the neck first so I can blend my colors down. I'll come around the mouth. I'm gonna come back and blend this last, my contour on my cheeks. I have found that if I do that first, I usually blend a little too much. See how it just buffs out? And it's just such a perfect color. It's just mind-blowing to me how it just goes so perfectly. All right, now we're gonna do the cheekbones. I'm gonna show you. With them, I'm just lifting up. And then I'll buff a little bit underneath. That way I still have the contour line. but it just kind of lifts it up. Same thing on this side. I'm gonna buff it up. It'll bring the contour kind of onto the cheeks, and then I'll buff that line on the bottom up into the hairline. There we go. Such a pretty makeup when it goes on. Like, so pretty. Okay. I'm gonna take and dab just a little bit more of my brightener right through here. I feel like some of that got smoothed off. And then I'm just gonna stipple. There we go. All right, now let's do some cheek color. I think for cheek color, I think I might do some nude today. Just gonna keep it pretty basic. Or let's do plum, actually. So we're gonna go with plum, this color here. I'm gonna take, with the small end of the detail hack brush, dip into my plum, dab it up through here. Just the top of my cheekbone. I'm just gonna kind of buff it out a little bit. It's a very natural looking color. Okay. I feel like I might need a little more color than that. Let's check. Okay, so we've got all of that on. I'm actually gonna do a little bit of nude lip and cheek color over the plum, because the plum just kind of seems to disappear on my skin tone. I think nude might be a little bit better. A little more color. Okay, there we go. And then I'm just gonna buff it out with the other end of my bronzer and blush brush. Okay, I'm gonna take a little bit of Angel Illuminator right up there through the top, just to give a little bit of shine, a little bit of glow. And then I'm gonna go and set this. So I'm gonna take my Stay Spray again, spray about 2 sprays onto my damp perfector sponge, and I'm just gonna kind of press it all over my face to set my cream. Do 2 more sprays. This will help my makeup to stay on, keep it from moving around. And then I'm also gonna set it with a little bit of my loose powder with the damp sponge underneath my eyes. And then through my T-zone. So I have loose powder on my damp sponge. It helps it press into my skin better without letting it settle and get cakey. All right, so now let's do some eyes. I am gonna do a couple of different colors today. We are going to start out with the Blend and Tap brush. And we're gonna go in with a color called Soulmate, which is this shade here. And we're gonna do her all over the eyelid as like a good base. And I'm using the fluffy side of the blend and tap brush to get a little more color. See how she's just a good base. She adds a little bit of sheen, but she's not too white, light looking. Okay. The next thing I'm gonna do is take a little bit of a color called Bubba, which is this shade here. I'm gonna do her with the other end of the blend and tap brush. This one's gonna be like a transition shade on my lid. And it's gonna be a base because I'm gonna go back and add some Bayou on there. So we did Soulmate all over and then a little bit of Bubba on the lid. All right, the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a little bit of Emerald City, which is this shade here, with the small end of the eyeshadow everything brush. And I'm brushing her up through the crease. She's gonna be my contour shade for my eyes. And we'll mix a little brown with her too, but I want that cool Emerald City look from her first before I do the brown. And bring it down onto the lid just a little bit. Okay. Now, the next color I'm gonna do is a color called Philly. She's just a pretty basic brown. I am gonna take her with the other end of the eyeshadow everything brush and just kind of basically put her over Emerald City to kind of darken it up some. Bronzer and blush brush, brush off my excess. All right, let's go ahead and line. I'm gonna line with Emerald City actually. I'm just taking it and just going into my lash line with it. We're just darkening that lash line up. Make sure they look the same. Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit of glitter glue on my eyes, but I'm not doing glitter. I am mainly just doing this to get more pigment from my Bayou. Because I am going to do it all over my lid for like a pop of color with this. And I'm going to apply it with my multitasker brush. Alright, so this is Bayou here. I'm going to take with the multitasker brush and I'm I'm just going to tap it over where I put the glitter glue. This is just going to help me get a little more pigment from my color. I'm like matching completely with my dress. I like how you can see a little bit of it even with my eyes open too. Very pretty. All right. I'm gonna take a little bit of another brown, a little bit lighter brown, not quite as warm as, wanna do brown or do I wanna just do Emerald City? I think I'm just gonna do Emerald City, actually. I'm just going to darken it up through the crease a little bit there. Nothing crazy. Just evening that up. Kind of framing out the Bayou on my lid. Okay. Now I'm going to take with my brush here and just kind of clean up my color right there on the edge. Take a little bit of Frenchie. And let's do some brows. I'm going to do my brows with a color called Oak, which is this shade here. I'm just going to take with the hot line brush and just fill them in. Nothing crazy. I'll take my brush, fluff up this way a little. Same thing over here. I'm going to take and kind of put my color through it first. And I'll take and fluff up right here at the beginning. And then brush it over. A little bit of Angel Illuminator right here. Just to kind of give that highlight. Do a little bit of my waterproof mascara. This is just the Falsies waterproof. go in with some lips. I'm gonna use my multitasker brush again, which is an amazing brush because you can go eyes with it, lips with it. So this is just walnut contour. Okay. A little bit of ballerina. And then a little bit of one of my favorites, black cherry. Very soft and subtle. That way it pairs softly with my blue eyes. And that's it. So this is what we have going on for the wedding today. So anyway, I'll list the colors below, and if you guys have any questions, just reach out. Be sure to like and comment and subscribe. And there will also be a link posted if you want to shop any of the colors. So you guys have a great day.